Okay, this video is going to cover some information about the progressive aspect. We've talked earlier about the simple aspect, and we're going to be covering in total of about 4 aspects. So the second one here is the progressive aspect. Now, the meaning of the progressive aspect is that it's something that is changing. So the word progress has the meaning of this continuation. The progressive aspect is actually sometimes referred to as the continuous aspect as well. But so it's changing and it's incomplete, meaning that we're just in the middle of it. When we talked about the simple aspect, we said that it was completed. So we're talking about it as a whole, but with the progressive, we're talking about something that's not completed. And that can mean either that it's limited or that it's temporary, and we'll see additional information about that in a second. So the acronym that we can use for this one is PCI. So remember, for the simple it was SUC, simple, unchanging, and complete. But with the progressive, we'll say it's progressive, changing, and incomplete. So again, there's 3 forms of the progressive aspect. The first one being the past progressive, which is formed with was or were plus the verb in the ing form. Okay. The thing that we have to keep in mind with the progressive aspect is that it's always going to have at least 2 verbs. There'll be the verb to be and the ing form, and we'll see there may be addition to that. So with the present progressive, we have am, is, or are plus the ing form. And with the future, we can have either will or be going to plus the verb to be in the base form without it changing, and then the verb in the ing form. Okay, so let's first talk about the past progressive. Now here's some examples of it. He was walking to school at 8:30 this morning. Karen was washing her hair when the phone rang. Jake was coughing all night long. I was hoping you could lend me $10. So we have three different groups here and 3 different uses of the past progressive. Now, remember that the past, whenever we talk about the past progressive, be it the simple past, whenever we talk about the past, whether it's the simple past or the past progressive, the meaning of the past is remoteness. So what that means is that it gives a feeling of distance from the present moment. So in the first example, he was walking to school at 8:30 this morning. What we're talking about is an action that was in progress at a specific point of time. So at 8:30, he was walking. He started walking before 8:30. He's going to continue walking after 8:30, but at that specific point in time, 8:30, he was walking. The second one, Karen was washing her hair when the phone rang, is the same thing, except instead of a specific point in time, like 8:30, it's at a specific event when the phone rang. So what this means is that Karen started washing her hair before the phone rang. She was still washing her hair, at least for a little bit, after the phone rang. And at the exact point when the phone rang, she was washing her hair. Now the second one here, Jake was coughing all night long. Now this is a slightly different meaning. What it means is a repetition of an ongoing past action. We can see in this one, Jake was coughing all night long, that we don't have a specific point in time. There's no time, 8:30. Or any time. And there's also no specific event that comes and interrupts it, like the phone ringing. What it's saying is that he was coughing all night long. What this doesn't mean is that he started to cough and he continued to cough without stopping the whole night. What it means is that for a period of time he coughed and then he stopped, and then it was repeated. He coughed, stopped, coughed, stopped, coughed, stopped. Okay, so that this is different from the first one, is that there isn't a specific point in time, and this is an action that begins and ends, begins and ends, begins and ends, and repeats itself. Now in the last one, we have social distancing, and we talked about this before with the simple past tense as well. But social distancing, basically when you hear that, it means that someone is being polite. And the past is used because of the meaning of remoteness, meaning that you're distancing yourself from someone in order to be more polite. So I was hoping you could lend me $10. The hoping is actually happening at the present time, but the person is putting it in the past to be more polite. So I was hoping is a way of social distancing, of being more polite about something. All right, so let's take a look at these examples here and talk about what's the meaning for each one. So you were studying when she called. In that case, that's going to be meaning number one, meaning that we're talking about an action that was in progress when a specific event happened. Last night at 6 p.m., I was eating dinner. Again, this is going to be meaning number one. The action was in progress at a specific point in time, 6 p.m. He was always coming to class late. Okay, this one is going to be meaning number two. This is an event that kept on repeating, that repeated and repeated and repeated, but was not at a specific point in time or at a specific event. Number four, I was wondering if I could ask you a question. So this is going to be meaning number three. This is social distancing. I was wondering is put in the past tense, even though the wondering is happening right in the present, and it's done for politeness. Number five, I didn't like them because they were always complaining. So this one is going to be meaning number two, because we're seeing they were always complaining. This is a repeated action that happened over a period of time, but it's not at a specific point in time or with a specific a moment. Yesterday at this time, I was sitting at my desk at work. This is going to be the first meaning, something that was continuing at a specific point in time. So moving on to the next one, here's the present progressive. Now, here's our examples. He is attending a meeting now. I'm studying geology at the University of Colorado. Phyllis is living with her parents. She's becoming more and more like her mother. So the meanings of each one of these. The first one, pardon me, the first thing that we need to keep in mind about whenever we see the present is that the present has a meaning of immediate truth. So what we're saying whenever we use the present, the simple present or the present progressive, is we're saying that right at this point in time, this thing that I am saying is true. So the first example is the most common that we learn when we learn the present progressive, is that it's an activity in progress. He is attending a meeting now. So it's something that is happening right at this moment. It started before this moment, it will continue after this moment, but it's something that is happening right at this moment. And it's incomplete. The second one is long-term in progress, but temporary. So in this case, I'm studying geology at the University of Colorado. It doesn't, in this case, it's long-term in progress. So it doesn't mean that at this very minute I'm actively studying, but it means that over a period of time, from sometime into the past until sometime in the future, I'm studying. So this is a long-term in progress, but it's temporary, meaning that at some point I'm going to stop studying. I will finish studying geology. The second example is the same, but this is a better example of the meaning of temporary. So Phyllis is living with her parents. So This is a repeated action. Um, uh, but the living part of it um, is long term. It's not just right at this minute, but it's going to continue over a period of time, a long period of time. But the important thing about this Phyllis is living with her parents is that it means it's temporary, meaning that she started sometime in the past and she'll continue into the future, but it will stop. It's not going to continue. Consider this, we talked about this briefly, but the difference between Phyllis is living with her parents and Phyllis lives with her parents is that when we say Phyllis is living with her parents, we mean that this is temporary. It's going to stop. But when we say Phyllis lives with her parents, we mean this as habitual, meaning that this is something that she always does and will continue to do for forever, as far as we know. But when you say is living, it means it's going to stop at some time, that it's a temporary situation. Now, the last meaning here, she's becoming more and more like her mother, is talking about a change that's in progress. So we said that the progressive, one of the meanings is that it's incomplete and also that it's a change. So she's becoming more and more like her mother means that she is changing over time to be more and more like her mother. The change is not complete yet. At some point it will be complete, but right now we're focusing on this is a change that is happening that has not yet finished. So let's take a look at some examples. So number one, you are learning English. So this one is an example of our second meaning of long-term in progress, right? It doesn't mean that the learning is happening right at this second, although I'd hope so since you're watching this video. Um, but what it does mean is that this is something that is going to take a long time to complete. And it's not complete yet. At some point in the future, hopefully it will be complete. The second one, they are reading their books. Now this one is the first meaning, an activity in progress. It's something that's going on right now. It started in the past. It will continue into the future at some point and stop. But right at this particular moment in time, it's happening. Number three, I'm studying to be a doctor. So again, this one is the second meaning. This is an event where we would say it's long-term in progress. To become a doctor normally takes, depending on when you say you start, 6 to 10 years. So it's a long-term thing that's in progress that will at some point in the future stop, but at this point it's incomplete. Number four, what are you doing? This question, again, is asking about right now, an activity in progress right now. What are you doing? Means at this point in time, what is the thing that you're doing? I'm getting better at math. Okay? This is number three. This is a change that is in progress. Okay, it's something that is changing so that I'm improving right now. It hasn't finished yet. I'm not good at math yet, but at some point in the future I will be. We could also look at that one as long-term in progress as well, because it's something that's going to happen over a long time. But this last one, number six, he is being rude. Now this one is a little bit tricky because if we look at the word be, we've been taught that this is a non-action verb, and we can't use non-action verbs in English in the progressive. Now, like almost all rules in English, that's mostly true, but not always. So in this case, what we're talking about is a change in progress. So he is being rude. What that means is that in the past he's not normally rude, but that he is changing his behavior, and that at some point that will stop. that he will stop being rude. But he's being rude is talking about a change that is in progress. The next one here is the future progressive. And here's our examples. He will, or he is going to be, taking a test at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Mavis will, or is going to be, working on her thesis for the next 3 years. So the meaning of this, again with will, whenever we have will, we tend to mean a strong prediction. So in this case, in the first one, he will be taking a test at 8 a.m. tomorrow, means that this is an action that will be in progress at a specific time. So at 8 a.m. tomorrow, he will be taking a test. So again, this is like the simple past tense where you have a specific point in time and the event began before that specific point in time and will end after that specific point in time. And we could also say it's with a specific event. The other example is the duration of some specific future event. So Mavis will be working on her thesis for the next 3 years. The duration in this case is for the next 3 years. So we're using the continuous to explain that that she is going to be doing something for a long period of time. In this case, 3 years is a long period of time, but for the period of time. So again, be going to is similar meaning, but a weaker prediction. So the same thing, he is going to be taking a test at 8 a.m. tomorrow. We're talking about an action that's going to be in progress at a specific point in time. It's just not as strong of a prediction as will. And the same thing for the duration of some specific future activity. Mavis is going to be working on her thesis for the next 3 years is again a prediction. But a weaker prediction about how long something is going to happen. So let's take a look at these ones. I will be watching TV when she arrives home. So this is, we see will, so it means it's a strong prediction. When she arrives home, so it is an event that is in the future that will take place. This will be number one, an event in the future that takes place with a specific event rather than a specific time. I'm going to be watching TV when she arrives means the same thing, except this is a weaker prediction. Number three, tonight at 6 p.m. I will be eating dinner. Okay, so this again is number one, but rather than with a specific event, it's with a specific time, 6 p.m. And we see it's will, which means it's a stronger prediction. Tonight at 6 p.m. I'm going to be eating dinner has the same meaning. This is at a specific point in time, okay? But again, it's be going to, so it's a weaker prediction. So number five, we will be playing soccer for an hour tonight. So we see will, so this is a strong prediction. And we see for an hour, which means that it's talking about a duration of events. The next one is the same. We're going to be playing soccer for an hour tonight, but it's using be going to, so it's a weaker prediction. Okay. Bring any questions that you have in class. We'll do some practice in class to discuss this further. All right. Take care. See you in class. Bye.